Hi. All right. It is August 18, 2021. More evacuations in California, Lake County near Clear Lake. Oh, and I believe I have subscribers who live in this area. What is happening is so unbelievably heartbreaking, just overwhelming, but I want you to see this. Those homes are gone. How did the fire get in here? Trees, trees, trees. Boy, guys, I am like, every post now, I feel like I'm just going, the tears are coming. I can't believe what we're living. Yeah, very selective, it seems. And I'm going to repost the plasma fires video that I had on Never Lose Truth. Look at this. Look at the trees around it. And, okay, this fire has exploded. That's the language that they're using. Exploded. Look at how they're gone, okay? Everything in the home, gone, gone. Look. I'm not going to be able to do this in a short period of time. And while it's really hard to look at this kind of destruction, especially when you know that it is coming from man, that we are at war, and a bizarre war at that, because, well, a whole lot of people don't understand we are at war. And apparently a whole lot of people don't get the kind of destruction that has taken place in our country. Based on this comment that I received, which, we in America are so blessed, people. Pray for these people. It's not their fault. They have evil rulers. That was on the video that I posted earlier on the China flooding. Okay. We live in our little box, right? Escape your box. Get out of your box. And look at what is happening to your own country with your own evil rulers. We are not blessed. And if anybody is going to stay in that kind of thinking, they'll just go about their life and do nothing. They won't even know how many people are suffering in their own country, in their own state. Are Texas, Florida, and Arizona being targeted by weather modification? Seems odd that Texas and Florida are not complying with the mandates, and Arizona is challenging the election. Coincidence? You decide. Okay. Again, we're all at different levels of knowledge. We have different levels of knowledge. Some of us have bigger picture views. Others are rather small. If you've come just now and you're awakening to the evil that is taking place in the United States, you may not realize what has been going on. To think that this is political is really missing the mark on what is taking place. They are destroying our country. They don't care. See, they're not political in their destruction. Oh, the political game goes on. But they're not political. They put out that game so you think, oh my God, the Democrats are attacking Arizona, Texas, and Florida. No. What about South Carolina, North Carolina, all of California, and Washington? This is happening in every state. Flooding or fires, we are being destroyed. So please do some research to find out. It's not political. God is doing this. Hello. It's part of the end times. He tells us that he will do these things in the last days. He said it would happen. He didn't say he would be doing it. The evil powers that be are doing it. They are trying to play God. He's allowing it for judgment. So God is using the tyrannical hands of China as a tool to flood their own people. The flooding isn't natural. Did God choose Nebuchadnezzar to do his will? I'm going to guess that was a Nazi. It's true. I don't get this. Evil is doing it. Only if you say so. I didn't say so. The Bible said so. Oh, troll, how original. I've been following Carol for 2 years. Thanks for your input, though. But I know the drill. Anyone who disagrees or practices their own independent thought is obviously a troll. Asshole. Okay. I also feel this is the first 12 years. 12 years of being subjected to people fighting in the comment section. And for the past couple of days, I just feel like crying. Here, more of that thread. Thanks for being a good Christian. He's warning everyone, the end is coming. And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars and upon the earth. Distress of nations. Okay. I haven't seen many Christians here. Well, that's written by somebody who's been disagreed with, and so you disagree and you're not a Christian, and, this has got to stop. It's got to stop. God is, as far as I'm concerned, a loving force. And I don't understand that kind of thinking, that God is doing this. Wants to wake people up, to repent, to please. And then, of course, God is in control of it all. So God is allowing this. Destroying. So God's destroying his own creation, or God's allowing the destruction of his own creation. And, well, if God is the manufacturer of all of this, it sure does allow people to just sit back and do nothing to stop it. See, my belief is that you wake up, the truth matters. Jesus, whether myth or not, he was the example No other example exists of a life to follow, meaning emulate that life in the world. Jesus was a warrior. I don't see many warriors out there, but they claim to be Christian. You know, God don't you want to do his will? What is his will? To create or allow evil? That's God's will? No. God's will should be within you, every individual, and we should be fighting as Jesus would, as God would.
And that breaking news coming out of El Dorado County this noon hour, where the Calder fire continues to burn through thousands of acres, destroying dozens of homes in its path and forcing thousands of people to evacuate their homes, also threatening to close Highway 50 between Sacramento and South Lake Tahoe. Overnight, residents in the community of Kybers were told to get out as that fire grew to nearly 54,000 acres. People in other areas along Highway 50 have already been told to leave, while crews are struggling to build containment lines on the ground. Multiple aircraft have been fighting this fire from above, including a big retardant-dropping DC-10. Right now, Live Copter 3 is grounded because of the poor visibility from all of the smoke in our area. Otherwise, we would be bringing you those live pictures from Live Copter 3. Right now, we're seeing a view of the Calder fire from space. We want to show you this. Look at this. I mean, this is how massive it is. These are images from a European Union satellite, and it shows you just how much smoke this fire is sending up into the atmosphere. Again, that is the view from space. CAL FIRE says that there has been little firefighters could do to stop the fire's progress thus far, as it just raced through the forest, shooting flames hundreds of feet into the sky. This all started just south of Grizzly Flats and then quickly burned through that community. It's now headed toward Highway 50. We know at least 2 people are hurt. 86 structures have been destroyed.
86 structures. 86 homes. Overnight.
Full capacity, and the stories, the human stories at each are similar. Feelings of anxiety, hope, and a line of people eager to donate or help.
I'm not very far from Grizzly Flats, and we could see the flames. And after last night, the night before the first night, and it just tremendously just grew in size. It was crazy. It was scary because there was no warning.
Well, when you pack up, you're like, what do I take? You know, looking around and see what, you know, you can grab, what pictures or whatever. And you don't get everything you want or need, of course.
And how difficult is it than not knowing what's going on in your house?
It's horrible.
Why did you drive over here?
Well, because I wanted to give pet food for people who had to leave in a hurry. And so I got that, and then some cat litter and just stuff like that.
Why were you motivated to do that?
Well, because you never know when it's going to be your turn. Yeah. So just wanted to help.
Wanted to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Getting a little emotional. Why?
Yeah. It's just it's sad what's happening.
Shelters all over the place from the flooding and from fires. France.
Flames that became an unstoppable inferno since the fire broke out on Monday, ripping through the Var region in the south of France. More than 6,000 hectares have been ravaged. President Emmanuel Macron, who had been on holiday in the area, has thanked emergency workers.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Firefighters have been mobilized. The blaze first started in the village of Gonferrand. High temperatures and strong winds helped fan the flames. More than 7,000 people have had to be evacuated from its path.
On ne peut plus rentrer chez nous, on attend de savoir un peu l'évolution des choses, parce que les vents tourbillonnent et il est en haut, il est partout le feu.
Now out of harm's way, holidaymakers were shocked at how quickly the fire advanced.
Quand les flammes se sont retrouvées à 200 mètres de la maison, c'est à ce moment-là qu'on s'est rendu compte que c'était très grave. C'est à ce moment-là que nous avons tout ramassé très rapidement, on a mis dans la voiture et on s'est mis sur le chemin. On s'est mis sur le chemin sans savoir où on allait en fait.
Others spent the night sheltering on the beach, with temperatures at record levels across the Mediterranean this summer. Greece, Turkey, Spain and Portugal have also been grappling with wildfires.
And, the fires in Italy, Algeria, Siberia, Greece continue. I didn't see any videos on Turkey, which I was really surprised, I'm sorry I didn't do a specific search, but my hunch is the fires are going. What about Israel? What about, Croatia? They seem to have all of the same characteristics all over the world. High heat temperatures, lots and lots of wind, and still people won't check out the technology that can create these intensely hot fires, the technology that man can create wind, the technology that man can increase atmospheric heat, the geoengineering, the dumping of very flammable materials that, yes, from that sky can reach all the way down to the trees. Portugal.
Welcome back. Blazes broke out in Portugal and hundreds of firefighters tended to the wildfires, evacuating the population and attempting to control the disaster. The fire took place near the border with Spain in the region of Algarve and spread across 3,000 acres initially. Despite the authorities' efforts, the flames were driven by the wind and took up a perimeter of 40 kilometers or was scorching an area of 9,000 hectares. Portugal is the most recent Mediterranean country to suffer massive heat waves and uncontrollable fires, crowned with Greece, Spain, and Italy.
I forgot Spain. How about Bolivia?
Burning wildfires turned the sky red in San Matias, Bolivia on Monday, as firefighters struggled to tame fierce flames. According to Bolivia's Friends of Nature Foundation, more than 24,000 hectares of forests have burnt in the country so far this year. San Matias Mayor has declared fire-ravaged areas a disaster zone.
Desde el 3 de agosto se hemos declarado en zona de desastre y inmediatamente se ha tenido la respuesta del gobierno central, como también de la gobernación con bomberos voluntarios que están, pero como le digo es algo que no se puede controlar.
San Matias is located in Bolivia's Santa Cruz region, regarded by many as the country's breadbasket.
Regarded as many as the country's bread basket. Okay. Rosebud County rancher regroups after losing his crops to wildfire.
A Rosebud County rancher lost the vast majority of his hay and alfalfa to a wildfire, and now he's going to have to make some tough decisions going forward.
Fires in the past, usually you have somewhere to go. You know, you can maybe, if your summer grass burns, you can go to your winter grass. This fire was different because it got both of it. We don't have anywhere to go with it. I've had offers for taking cattle to a feedlot in Nebraska, which I could do. But at the end of the winter, when we bring them home, I don't have any grass to come back to. If we could sell half keep half, maybe try to feed hay, get them by. But again, this spring, we need to let that ground that burned rest. So.
And if you don't know Jeff Schneider too, check out his channel, Jeff Schneider 2. And he, in his videos, points out the signatures of plasma fires on trees. But, you know, look at this fire and look at these dead leaves. I mean, the tree got a bit of, well, it got scorched, but the leaves are completely fine. Farmers are getting destroyed everywhere. Now, this is interesting. Look at this. The burn mark here, and this tree is completely, all of the leaves are still on this tree. Okay. Well, you can't make someone see something that they just don't see. But this rancher really does need to ask some questions. And based on the education that I got from Jeff Schneider's 2's channel, I can say that this looks like a plasma fire coming from underneath the ground.
This is as close as residents can get to the fire ground. They've been turning up here all day, hoping for a glimpse of what's left. Jerome Wochuk says his cottage is still standing, but the flames got close.
We got really lucky. The flames didn't cross the road, and they continued. They took off to the northwest.
Father and son Doug and Travis Ferris have been trying since yesterday to check on their property.
Came up here, tried to have a look in, but it was so smoky. Couldn't get any closer than this, and we couldn't even see the houses for smoke.
Smoke from the White Rock Lake fire still simmers on the hill behind. The fire is still classified as out of control. Wendy Underhill has been ordered to leave the area twice in the past 2 weeks. The stress is taking its toll.
I had a meltdown yesterday. Total meltdown. I'm just tired.
Today, emergency officials reached out to residents who lost their homes. At the roadblock, some are angry at Premier John Horgan over his summer vacation in the Maritimes.
Or what about our Premier? He's on frickin' holidays. Like, he should be here, shouldn't he? Right? This is a disaster. It's a big one.
Meanwhile, fire crews from across the province have come to battle a fire that has grown to several hundred square kilometers and is burning out of control. Fire officials say the cooler weather and rains over the past few days have given crews a much-needed reprieve. However, they are expecting a return to warmer temperatures and gusting winds, which they...
Warmer temperatures and gusty winds, and I'm very close to Canada. And this temperature here, boy, it's been in the high 90s for days. It was in, that dome of heat that we had week after week after week. It was brutal. Then the temperature drops. It drops so much that I literally made a fire to warm up the cabin. And then we get in the high 90s again. And I had a fire today because it was cold. Yeah. Flooding in Arizona.
Rolling through Arizona right now. We're tracking storms as they head across the state. Dangerous flash flooding is happening right now at the Telegraph burn scar in Gila County. This is in east central Arizona. We're giving you some video right here from one of our weather watchers who sent us this. You can see that car right there trying to make its way through that flooded intersection. Obviously not a good idea. It only takes about 6 inches of water for a vehicle to lose control. Now, emergency management is also reporting that multiple homes are flooded along the Russell Gulch area. The US 60 is also said to be flooded in that area. Of course, very dangerous situation. People are being asked to seek higher ground there. Michael Downa is on his way right there, and as soon as we get him, we'll...
That road looks buckled and damaged. The frequencies that they use to create these severe weather events can do that to roads.
Lots to talk about with the weather. New tonight, Haywood County declared a state of emergency because
this is in the next videos, North Carolina and South Carolina.
The flooding and storm damage from Fred. Take a look at all this water along Sonoma Road. Businesses and buildings ruined. Think of how expensive that construction equipment you're seeing there is. Also, many vehicles stuck in these rising waters. Here's some flooding in Canton. See some vehicles underwater there as well. If you look closely, you'll see what appears to be a tree limb just poking out of the water there. Cleanup underway in Malden after strong storms left behind major damage to homes and businesses. That's where we find 7 News' Melanie Palmer tonight. Melanie.
It's dark out here now, but just over my shoulder here on Industrial Core in Malden is where a business had the wall of its own business there completely cave out. It was just feet away from dozens of uprooted trees and debris, and it's a very similar site not too far from where we're sitting right now as you drive along Miller Road in Malden.
It was bit scary.
Gay Holt is still processing what she saw unfold here Tuesday afternoon.
The rain was starting to come really heavy. I started going toward the employee door to shut it. And about that time, carts started moving and boxes started moving, and I got hit in the head. Then the wall just disappeared.
That's when she tells us she started screaming for everyone working inside to get to a safer room.
Everyone was saying, did it sound like a train? Because some of them heard a train. I said, I don't remember any of that. I just remember screaming.
Just a couple miles away in a neighborhood off of Miller Road, Donna Boston says the train sounds were roaring strong.
I heard the wind blowing and the trees moving, and then when I came out, I saw the damage at the pool, but then when the rain stopped, we have damage around the whole perimeter.
And left behind hefty damage like peeled off gutters, uprooted trees, and the newly constructed fence shattered.
The tree limb there hit my house.
It all made for an extra memorable first day of school for some Greenville County students who briefly had to take cover.
Parents were allowed to go in the back because nobody was supposed to be near windows.
I got soaking wet, but it's okay. We got her safe.
Before heading home.
Lights were twitching off and on, so I was like, okay. And then the teacher's like, get in the hallway. I was like, so I had my Dunkin' Donut box just running down.
Some made the best of the conditions.
I mean, it's nice and cool, actually.
And others like Holtz, who had a front seat to it all.
I feel like I'm still in crisis mode. It could have been so much worse.
Are just happy everyone is okay.
So that was South Carolina, Malden. Yeah, and the declarations of states of emergency made all over the place.
Road that's just outside of downtown Spartanburg. You see the water collecting under this railway bridge. This area floods almost every time we get a fair amount of rain, and it's pretty bad there today as these drivers pull through. Doesn't take a lot of water for a car to float when it's water's moving like that. If you come across flooding like this, please be careful, and if you can, try to find another route. A family in Oconee County felt the impacts of today's storm. A tree fell on their home. 7 News' Olivia Parsons spoke with the man who lives there. She's standing by live for us tonight. Olivia, the good news is, after you talk to him, it sounds like he's doing okay.
Fortunately, yes, he is okay. If you'll take a look behind me, you can see part of that damage. The tree snapped over that swing set onto the home. I did speak with the homeowner. He was outside at the time, but fortunately did not suffer any injuries.
Take a look at this drone video. Joseph Crow says he was sitting on the porch when he heard snapping sounds.
I heard the trees start cracking, start coming down, and I saw the branches were snapping off the side of the house as it was coming down. I didn't know where it was going to fall.
And take a look at how diseased is this tree and the geoengineering, the spraying of those toxic chemicals and metals, the nanoparticulates. Yes, they come right on down, they get into the ground, they get into the root system of the tree, and they weaken the immune systems of the tree. And when you see visible all of this fungal disease, especially the caked fungal disease on a tree, you know These trees need to be removed if you can do that, if you have them next to your house, because they can come down with just a little bit of wind, which I have witnessed. Man, well, lots of destruction. And power outages, of course.
Images coming into the newsroom in the wake of that severe weather that tore through the Carolinas yesterday. This is a view from above today in the town of Canton. That is in Haywood County, just west of Asheville. The Pigeon River spilled over in its banks, and you can see through these photos there are large sections of the town that are still underwater today. People who live in that area were advised to evacuate to higher ground around 8:30 last night after the National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency. At least 15 people had to be rescued.
Well, Carol, that damage really seemed to be scattered throughout the region from Malden to Greenville to Fountain Inn. We talked to several people, and while some say scary was an understatement, they're all thankful tonight to be okay.
It was like a 15-second thing, but it felt such slow motion, so it was very scary.
Scary moments in Malden as heavy winds and rain pounded a warehouse.
A big old cart started being blown, and then boxes started being blown.
Tonight, this shows the severe flooding. This is along Smoky Park Highway there in Asheville. Look at this. Debris in the water, some river here. We don't know which river this is. Hope to find out of its banks. Motorists asked to avoid this area.
Now to video.
And more trees, damaging homes, and tornadoes, of course.
We're here at the side of an apartment complex off Rainbow Circle in Malden. You can see where this roofing landed over here by these duplexes. Now you can actually see right here, I'm going to show you, there's nails and stuff that are sticking up from this roofing. This is a very scary thing to see flying through the air, especially while kids are being dismissed from school on their way home. You see a giant roof just flying through this air. Now this is actually on top of the building over here. It lifted up. That's how strong these winds are, and it came flying through. Now, this was a very scary afternoon for the people living in this area, especially for the children who were coming back from their first day. Now, take a look at your screen. These are the damages left in the debris from the storm. We know many of you were many of you lost power during the storm. We know that people here do have their power back on this morning. Thankfully, no one was hurt during all of this, but there is going to be a lot of cleanup work left to do today. Tornado warnings were appearing at the first day of school, where Greenville County schools were actually dismissing. And we spoke to this one woman who actually had to leave work and come home to all of this. Take a listen.
I was nervous because it's like more or less my dogs are in the house, have the windows busted, is the glass door still there? You just don't know until you get home.
A whole lot of people are suffering the consequences of the only word that comes to mind is evil, using technology to destroy.
Sent in by people who are out across the mountains seeing what's going on with the emergency level of this severe weather across the region. The footage that we are going to show you here is from Candler. Drivers stranded in rising floodwaters on the 1100 block of Smoky Park Highway. The man who shot this tells us that passengers were standing on their cars as responders came to get them with rafts. And then a driver on Old Asheville Highway showed us water levels on the road. Cautionary tales of real dangers crossing flooded roadways. A box truck earlier today turned over on I-40 at the Brevard Road exit. Emergency responders are overwhelmed with calls of emergencies as a result of the heavy rain and flooding going on, as well as power outages in the area. We saw a power outage on Smoky Park Highway at a gas station where they were trying to use flashlights and the pumps cut off.
Actually, pretty much sit and wait. We're losing business. Nobody can get gas.
Well, hydroplaned a couple times, but take it slow. We're good.
Not a good day to be driving.
No, not a good day at all.
Okay, well, more interstate closings. more massive floodings, more homes flooded, more businesses flooded. And this is happening every day now. It's happening every day. So, this is in North Carolina. More farms flooded. I'm sorry for how I sound. I can only be honest. I'm not doing very well. You know, I have experienced the destruction of my own life. So when I see this happening, it's hard, you know, because while I don't know the details of what any of these people are experiencing, I certainly do know, just generally, how it feels to lose everything. And I just really hope that everybody gets the help that they need, because doing it alone, it's almost impossible.
This is some video from Sky 4 from western North Carolina as the area saw a lot of flooding from Tropical Storm Fred. This is a look at Highway 19 where several mobile homes were taken out by a landslide. Parts of roads and bridges were washed away. Also, this is video from Bethel Christian Academy earlier this morning where it looks like the storm flooded the school and the parking lot. And of course, right now, cleanup is underway across the upstate after the area was hit by strong storms. Our Daniel Robinson is joining us live right now from Fountain Inn. And Daniel, what are you seeing this afternoon?
Yeah, hey, Desi. As you can see, there are a lot of trees down over.
He's just talking about a lot of trees down and trees hitting homes. And again, you look at the trees and you know why they're coming down so easily. But why are we having why is this the new normal? It's not climate change. Please just do some research to find out about weather modification and geoengineering.